Welcome to the No Budget Indie Filmcast, where we dip into the independent film universe to highlight those little films that you might not have heard about elsewhere. Will you agree with our panel, or will our panel agree with each other? Tune in to find out. I am Milo Dennison, and with me, as always, is Claire Milan.
Hello.
And Cathal Feeney.
Hello.
All right, Cathal, what are we watching this week?
What we are watching this week is a film called Who Are You? It's a Chilean film, believe it or not, even though the one we watched was in English with English actors. But anyway, it was directed by Julio Pot, written by an art director, Francisco Javier Olea. Animation director was Castral, and starring Al Gravil, J. Alessandra, Mario Cacheras, and Tita Lacobelli. Oh, there we go. So it's an animation, as you can tell from my background there. It's about a cartoon character who is going through a crisis of confidence. He's having a writer's block, or he's in the midst of a writer's block. Up to date, he has been a successful writer, and one day this delivery girl comes to his door, and she manages to inspire him to continue writing, and that's basically the story. It's not a film that has any depth, really. The two main characters are quite superficial, and only good things seem to happen to them. You can take that as me being begrudging, and you'd be right. But like the idea behind the story is that if you don't give up hope, that eventually that inspiration or that opportunity will come your way. So it's sort of a Disney-esque fantasy story. But on the other hand, there's nothing wrong with that. Maybe we do need this upbeat messaging in our lives. Because I was listening recently to a happiness expert by the name of Arthur Brooks. You can look him up. And according to him, based on research, that your propensity for happiness depends on three things. And the first one is genetic. Second one is your environment. And the third one is your personal choices. So in other words, happiness is a choice. So there you go, take that. So all you creatives out there, don't give up. As for the film, watch it if you like. It's not bad. And the animation is quite good. There you go.
All right, Claire, go for it.
But yes, it was very simple. I loved the animation where one of the characters a lot of the time wore red to distinguish them, because otherwise it would have been very flat with the black and white. Like, it's extremely simple storyline, but we've seen so many depressing short films. It was actually lovely to sit down and watch this, and it did make you feel inspired, because any of us who are into writing knows you often hit a point where you have this kind of writer's block and you can't find inspiration, and it's so annoying, and you're in the same situation as this guy, and it's just, and then all of a sudden inspiration hits you and you can't stop, and you kind of go through cycles of it. I really enjoyed it. But yeah, it was definitely like the characters didn't have much of a struggle. It was a bit surfacey. It wasn't 3D, but that wasn't a negative as such for me. I thought it was a simple, effective, and at the end of it, it just made me, it made me smile basically and laugh. And it's funny because I'm reading Sally Rooney's latest book at the moment, and because she had No Normal People and then Conversations with a Friend, which are really good books. But the third one, it's like as if she's writing about herself. So I'd say, did she go through a similar thing to this main character, where she'd writer's block and there probably had pressure on her to write a book? But you can tell the main protagonist was based on her story as a writer. And that could have happened to her. I don't know if that happened to her, but maybe the same thing happened as this character. But it's quite interesting.
Yeah, I thought it was all right. Like, I think things did come a bit too easy to the characters in there, which I found kind of annoying. Like, it's like, I wrote this and then I let this person read it, and then they let this person read it, and then they let this person read it, and then it got published. Happens every day to people, right? Oh, I just happened to be at this theater and the lead actress just happened to not be able to make it that day. And I just happened to know all the lines to the play and just happened to get the starring role. And and they try to like play it down, especially with the girl who, like, she moves to the city and then she gets a job, but then she loses a job, so she's kind of down on her luck and stuff. And so they do try to balance it a little bit, but I don't think I don't really felt like either of the characters struggled, even with him in his writer's block. It was like, I'm already a successful writer, but so I'm kind of having a bit of writer's block at the moment, but it's okay because I'm successful. But hey, my shower didn't work this morning, huh? That's a bad thing, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, so I did feel like they, and especially within the time, I do think they had the time to give them more of a struggle with the length of this short. Having said that, yeah, it was nice, I guess, in the sense that it does kind of have a bit of a reward at the end there. The fact that he actually does, thanks to her, gets rid of his writer's block, which is really nice. And I like that little play where they did where it looks like she's leaning in to kiss him, but then she just grabs her hat, kind of a thing. And it's like, so that was really nice, because you thought they were going to actually kiss and it was going to be kind of cliche there. And it was like, it was nice that they didn't do that. And yeah, the animation, it's pretty simple, but nice enough, I guess.
Yeah.
Isn't
it like with regard to the red, they did introduce that as a sort of a motif a few times, just bringing in a bit of red, which was, made it interesting. I found that the guide's voice was just a little bit robotic though. And it was like, it was originally would have been made in Spanish. So I would have liked to have heard it in the original language and understood it, or maybe even with subtitles. But there was just something a bit, I don't know, square about the guy.
I had the same feeling, but with her voice, you could tell English is not her native language, because there was some of her inflection in the way that she said stuff that just didn't quite work. And it was pretty obvious that she is not a native English speaker. At least I hope that's the reason why, somebody can grab it. Like, she really is.
They got different actors to do.
Did they? So maybe, but like her inflection on a lot of the wording and just the way she said it, but maybe it was the same thing as, and maybe that was the direction. It was like, I want you both to read these kind of flat. So,
yeah.
But you know what? We watch so many depressing films, especially short films, especially going to film festivals. It's just, when you see something like this, it is kind of refreshing. It's something that it kind of gives you this, it stands out because it's so positive in one way.
Yeah.
And because some of the films in being so depressing all get very similar, That's what I like about this.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with a little bit of positivity.
Exactly. Bah humbug.
I guess, whatever, if you're into that kind of stuff. Positivity.
Yeah.
All right. Well, should we rate it then?
Okay.
Claire, you want to go, or you want me to go?
So, do you know what? I really liked it. It was a little bit of sunshine and a beautiful sunny day here in Ireland. So I'm going to give it 4 out of 5 because it's different and it made me smile. So
I'm kind of middle of the road on it. I was kind of a toss-up between a 2 and a 3 star, but yeah, since it's got a bit of an upbeat thing going to it, I'll give it 3 stars for the sake of the happiness of it.
Okay. Wow. Yeah, that's interesting that you were thinking so low now. I'm between the two of you again. I didn't think it was brilliant in any way. It was just a nice story, and it was very, very, as I said, like, just everything good happens to them all the time. Everything works out perfectly, and I'll give it 3 stars.
Okay.
All right. There you have it, No Budget Filmcast listeners. You can check this out. It's called Who Are You? Let us know what you think via comment or reaching out to us on social media. We can be reached at No Budget Show on Instagram, Twitter, or Facebook. And with that, we will say see you next time and goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.